Good morning and welcome to a new episode of IT Conversations live at VMware Explore Barcelona 2024. It is, I don't know, I got lost at time, lost track of days. I think it's officially day 3. It's Wednesday, and Wednesday mostly is about all of the, the technical deep dives, and we had the general session yesterday. The specific keynotes were already partly yesterday and some today. And I've been looking forward to this particular video for the last couple of months already. Mostly because most of you know already that we did some awesome stuff around Private AI Foundation. And the person behind all of that is next to me, Mr. Chris Wolf.
How you doing, Johan?
Good morning.
Good to see you.
I am very excited, not just particularly about this interview, but also about everything that happened this week. So yeah, first question, how are you?
I'm good. It's been a great conference, great meetings, lots of excitement, especially with our partners around private AI and what we're doing there. So it's so far so good.
Awesome. Well, you saw, let's kind of dive into it, because yesterday during the general session, you were on stage. It was just like, I don't know, maybe a 10 minutes of fame, a 5 minutes of fame, but you showed some really awesome magic. Let's talk about the thing that you presented during the general session, but also some of the announcements of this week.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so if I dive in, like some of the main things we covered was Private AI Foundation with NVIDIA. It's been generally available since May. We're seeing significant customer traction, which has been really exciting. And it's sometimes it's in verticals that you may not expect. Like we see a lot of traction in public sector. They love the value proposition, but financial services, manufacturing, lots of other verticals are certainly coming on board too. And the value here is that you can bring the AI model to the data. You don't have to lose control of your private data. It works really well across EMEA when you think about organizations considering the regulatory landscape that they need to navigate as well. And then also we announced really where we're going into the future. So these are things like our model store, which this is not future, this is current, but this gives you a really clean, easy way to do model governance. And it's been a good journey for us because the model store in particular, we took a very practical approach. Our competition, if you look at what they're doing for AI model governance, they have these proprietary tools they built. And we said, that doesn't make any sense because your AI models today are largely distributed as containers. So you use a container registry that already has these features. You don't need to bring another tool into the environment. And that's what we did by extending open source Harbor and adding the CLI support for both Hugging Face, for NVIDIA NGC, so it's true native experience for your app devs and data scientists. We announced our data indexing and retrieval service, so that's being able to collect all of your data, your private data, connect it to your AI models. Let's see, what else have we done? There's probably some more. How about this announcement too, right? So we announced support for the Azure AI Video Indexer, which I think is super exciting because you could take a lot of this video and media content you already have, you can start to run indexing on it, and this is taking an Azure cloud service, running it on VCF, and the best part, the service was designed to run on CPUs. So customers, by and large, have spare CPU capacity. This is a super easy way to try out that first AI use case using capacity you already have in the data center.
What I found most amazing about that announcement is that we've been we met in Vegas as well for Explore, and one thing that really stood out to me was one of the things that Hock Tan mentioned, the CEO, that moving forward we're gonna bring kind of the public cloud experience on-prem. The future of the cloud is private. It's and this announcement really shows that you are bringing that experience to the private cloud. So it totally fits into the strategy.
Yeah, and I'm excited about it. Look, I mean, I've been working with VMware products and technologies since before my kids were born now. I mean, it's 25 years for me, and I think back to the early days of private cloud when we were trying to do this. It was always, well, let's get a storage stack and a network stack and a compute stack. We're going to build this automation layer above it, right, and try to wire everything together. And the result has been consistently a less than optimal experience compared to the public cloud, right? And that's the bottom line. So when people look at VCF and where we're going there, right, we're tightly integrating everything, making that life cycle super simple, making the automation, like, again, simple and predictable, which is what people have been asking for. And it's something I just feel really strongly about because I think any technologist knows, like, if you try to piecemeal private cloud for the 8th time, thinking you're going to get a different result, it's the definition of insanity, right? You're not, right? So where we're going with VCF is where our customers have really wanted us to go. And we're definitely looking for customers to be more strategic with us in this journey, but the results they get, I think, are going to be really impressive for them. And you're going to see all those benefits of cloud at a fraction of the cost, and you maintain all of your privacy and control.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the definitely the added values of the private cloud, but particular zooming in on private AI as well. So what really stands out is that, like, take a year ago where we were, a lot has happened. Not just in terms of the VCF technology and the way that the Private AI Foundation platform is also continuously evolving, with the deep learning VM process now being being built in ARIA automation, but the world of models is like rapidly innovating as well. A couple of months ago, like, we were working with Llama 2. Nowadays we're working with Llama 3 and 3.1 already. So you're seeing that that's really rapidly innovating. What's looking at to the future? What's in store for Private AI Foundation with with NVIDIA or with Intel? That doesn't really matter. But what's in store for it?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot. We're definitely committed to choice in our ecosystem. That matters. And to your point on models, like, where we've seen that traction with customers is that we're providing a platform approach. So you invest in the AI platform, and as these new models come along, right, it's just a software update. You can very quickly onboard them. Data scientists can very quickly do tests and decide, well, maybe I get a better inference response with this model, or I'm getting better accuracy here, so I'm going to swap it out. Right? That really matters going forward. And now we've done some really interesting things that are coming in the future as well that I didn't mention before, such as our approach to high availability. So we're allowing you to use VM classes, so I can identify a lower class of virtual machine that can be preempted in the event that I need additional capacity. So think about your production inference workload that's running some critical business application. I need that thing to always run, right? But what do I do when a GPU fails? I don't want to just have idle GPUs sitting around in case there's a failure, right? They're costly and they're hard to come by. So what I can do is I can preempt my data science virtual machines instead that might be being used for research and testing and things like that. Now, if you think about it from the user experience, from the data scientist perspective, they're like Jupyter Notebook as an example, the default checkpoint is 2 minutes. So if we're preempting their VMs and the containers are running, right, they might lose 2 minutes of work, really not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, and it's just a far more efficient architecture. So we think that's pretty exciting. And then when you think about preemption in general, like, we needed AI to drive this engineering in this use case, but now you effectively have spot instances that you can run across your VMware clusters as well. Right? And so I can start to have other types of preemptible workloads, and now you can start to take that ceiling higher in terms of the CPU utilization that you're driving towards. So, I think those things are pretty exciting in terms of where we're going. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention, there's, for the VMware faithful that have been with us for a long time, the technology that I would say is getting renewed life and renewed enthusiasm and investment because of AI is DRS. And it's important, because DRS, like, if you think about it, AI is not just about connecting an app to a GPU. It's memory on the GPU cards, right? I need the right amount of network capacity. I need the right amount of data I/O. These are very complex problems. And when we look at the customers that are early adopters of Private AI Foundation with NVIDIA, one of our pleasant surprises are customers that have been running AI and ML on bare metal for years. They struggle with distributed resource management at scale, and it's something where we excel. We have the best technology in the industry, and this is where, when you start to line us up against other vendors trying to do things on-prem, they don't have anything remotely close to what we have with DRS, what we have with automation, and that's driving a lot of our early traction as well.
And I think it also shows how mature the hypervisor is and what the added value of the hypervisor is. You showed a slide yesterday during the general session where in some cases the performance of a virtualized environment can even exceed the one of a hypervisor. Could you kind of clarify that a little bit?
Yeah, and people get surprised by that. I mean, first there's the notion that, oh, well, if I put a hypervisor in the stack, performance must be worse. Right? That's always the assumption, and in a lot of cases it's not. And the reason for that is you have to think about how we do scheduling, so CPU memory scheduling, how we're doing sharing across capacity. Now, The OS kernel vendors, this is not a problem that they've had to worry about except for maybe the last 10 years because of the emergence of Docker and containers and what's happened there. VMware's have been having to deal with this since our inception, right? Running dozens to sometimes hundreds of OSs and applications on the same host at the same time. So the efficiency of our scheduler is just superior to that in what you get with a native OS kernel. That's what gives us the performance advantages. Is it in every use case? No. There are some cases where we might dip, say 1 or 2% below bare metal. But even in those use cases, like when I talk to customers and it's like, hey, if you can share an H100 4 different ways and your trade-off is 2% performance, people will take that every day of the week. And if you won't, then do pass-through. You don't have to run a vGPU if you don't want to with our stack, but you have the option to, and you get all these benefits when you do.
Yeah, I think it just shows the, you know, I just mentioned maturity, but I don't think it's the right word. I think kind of enterprise readiness is better. It is really a platform that's ready for any type of enterprise. And I think the fun thing is, and especially you know, we've been working with a couple of customers in the last couple of years as well. Going for like the go-to-market has a strong focus on generative AI, but we see readiness within the platform for all sorts of different use cases. Traditional machine learning, fraud detection, object recognition in video. And I think the announcement of yesterday where you showed the video indexing service from Azure also shows that it's not just about the chatbot, it's about the entire AI journey that a company might go through.
Yeah, 100%. And that is a number of our early adopters, as I mentioned. They've been, like back in the day, we just used to call AI ML, right? So like computer vision, it's an ML use case. Everybody just wants to make AI everything. But absolutely, these use cases clearly benefit from our stack. One of our longtime customers, it's a very large retailer. They've been running AI services on VxRail in their stores for years. So it is a mature platform for this, and especially when you get into these distributed environments where you don't have the people to maintain the stack, this is where the value of these integrated solutions we offer, such as Cloud Foundation, really come into play and make a huge difference for the customer.
Yeah, and like one final topic I would love to talk to you about is, you mentioned at the beginning of the interview the importance of partners and how you're expanding the partner ecosystem. It's not just you talking about it. Hock Tan, as well as Paul Turner during the partner keynote, and yesterday during the general session also mentioned there's going to be a huge investment in partners because it's really important to implement the solutions, to you know, get customers adopted to the platform.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we are proud to have announced this week our very first service to run POCs at customers and to do it end to end. So including Gen AI workloads, including any computer vision workload they might be using. So why, to you personally, is it important to work with partners?
It is what keeps me up at night is scaling our AI deployments and keeping up with the demand that we have. Like I'm already seeing like what our forecasted growth is for next year, and I'm losing sleep over it because we can't, Broadcom, we cannot scale to meet the demand. We need our partners to help us here to really drive the customer conversation, drive the business outcomes, right? It's not just about the landing the platform, but it's these successful AI outcomes that are measurable and aligned to business needs. And that's all our partner space. And I think that's what's exciting about the way we built our stack is like the Harbor example, right? It's an open source. Like partners have lots of flexibility in terms of how they can customize that, really add value. We've taken an AI application that we run internally that can summarize documents, allow you to chat with documents, just drag and drop a web interface. We've open sourced that, and these are areas that we want partners to also just kind of grab onto and help guide customers through as well. But I mean, our partnership with ITQ is super important to us. It's super important to how we're going to grow and succeed. And we cannot, again, we can't go without our partners here. And this has been probably 60% of my meetings at the conference this week have been with partners.
Wow. Wow, well, that indeed shows the importance of going forward with partners. So, any final thoughts before we end up this interview and go into like day three? Day three, right? Yeah, day three.
Yeah, I would just say, like, for those out there that are like on the sidelines, you know, AI is it's easier than you think to start to consume and get and gain value. Like document summarization use cases, we see a lot of customers doing back office contact center as well, where I can kind of hide the AI, and so it's not customer facing, but I can start to get value in terms of my support agents closing tickets faster. These are areas that you can start to wade into with, in many cases, starting small with just a few GPUs and then scaling depending on the demand that you might have following that. So, we mentioned the indexer service. There's lots of ways to kind of kick the tires, get that first win. And then again, I just want to double down on when you get into performance, you get into optimization, you get into resource management and scheduling, there is no one that's going to give you these services with privacy and control at a lower cost than us. Like, we have the data, we know it for a fact. When you look at the public AI services, on average, they are 3x our cost. So if you can get all of the value, privacy and control at a third the cost, like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think, well, great words to end this conversation. We couldn't be more excited about all of the things happening here this week around Private AI Foundation, but also all of the innovation going forward. And we are very proud to have been working with you and with Frank Denneman in the last couple of months on getting to this point in time. And we very much look ahead, continuing conversations into the future. So, Chris, thanks so much for a great interview.
Thanks for the partnership.
Thank you too. So, thank you so much for watching. If you obviously have any questions about Private AI Foundation, the newly announced service that we are delivering right now, always feel free to reach out. You can find the link to the solution brief below this video. For now, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.